Hey, my feel good friend, and welcome to the Feel Good Social podcast. I'm your host, Kinsey, and yes, I sound like a game show host right now because I am way too excited about today's topic. Let's be honest here. We are talking about indirect selling, and I am sharing 8 ways that you can create content about your offers without actually straight up selling to people, like buy from me, right? And I'm so excited to share because, well, one, I always nerd out about this strategy shit, let's be honest. And two, I know that this is something that a lot of us struggle with so often, right? Is actually marketing and selling our offers when it comes to our social media content, right? This is something that most entrepreneurs struggle with. So if you're on this boat, don't worry. I still sometimes struggle with it. And I've definitely been there even more hardcore than I am now 3.5 years into business, right? So I cannot wait to talk about this because this is going to, if you kind of have that fear of being a used car salesman online and creating content that's like, buy from me, guys. Like that's how you feel like you're showing up. It's something we struggle with. And here's the thing. It can be a real thing, right? If we show up on Instagram and are like, buy from me too much, it can be a turnoff for our ideal customers, right? So today we're going to be talking about this, deep diving into this topic. I'm going to be sharing 8 different content ideas that you can actually recreate for your brand in like an indirect selling way, right? So okay, a few things before we dive in. One, you might want to go grab a pen and paper or get your notes app out on your phone to jot down ideas as we are discussing this topic and brainstorming different content ideas and ways you can post about your offer without selling, because it's definitely going to be one of those strategy episodes where you may want to take some notes for sure. 2, if we have not connected on Instagram yet, I would love to be your friend over there, my friend. I am at Feel Good Social. Head over there, give me a follow, then send me a message and let me know that you came from the podcast. I promise I won't bite. I'm very friendly. But if you send me a message saying, hey, I'm a listener, I'm so glad we've connected over here, then I will definitely be sure to give you a follow back, my friend, okay? And then 3, if you do enjoy this episode or any other episode of the Feel Good Social podcast, please share it with someone else who could also use to listen to it, right? Whether that's a biz buddy who also struggles with selling and is scared when it comes to being overly salesy on Instagram, or if you want to share it to your Instagram stories, make sure that you screenshot it and then tag me at Feel Good Social, because if you tag me, then I can reshare it. And I would love to do that, my friend. Okay, without further ado, let's go ahead and dive right in. Hey, friend, and welcome to the Feel Good Social podcast. I'm your host, Kinsey, and I'm here to help you market your business in a genuine way that works without wasting your precious time. On this show, we chat about social media strategy and mindset tips with a focus on, you guessed it, feeling good. So sit back, relax, and enjoy some genuine conversation for the good of your biz. Are you ready to easily create social media content that feels on brand and looks beautiful without breaking the bank or wasting your precious time? Our new brand vibe bundles are here, my friend. These digital bundles will give you everything you need to easily show up on social media with cohesive content that feels like your brand. You simply have to choose the bundle that best fits your brand's vibe, and you'll be on your way to posting with ease. Check them out at feelgoodsocial.com/brand-vibe-bundles. Each of our differently branded bundles includes 80 plus customizable Canva social media templates, 6 Lightroom presets for easy one-click photo editing, 30 in-depth social post prompts, plus a guide to your brand vibe with a description of your vibe's personality, power words, and additional suggested color palettes, font pairings, and graphic elements. I know these bundles are exactly what you've been looking for to finally show up consistently and cohesively on Instagram for your brand without breaking the bank or wasting your precious time. Just head to feelgoodsocial.com/brand-vibe-bundles and you'll find all the information there. Okay, my friend, I cannot wait to dive into indirect selling with you. But real quick, I just gotta warn you, we are still in the midst of, dog sitting for Brett's parents. We sold our home. We're a little bit homeless. And I don't know if you can hear the dog is in the background barking at each other through the fence or the wind chimes that Brett's parents just, adore. So if you hear any noises or it's too loud during this episode, I truly apologize. I hope that what I'm sharing is even better and more valuable, and you may not even be able to hear all the noises going on around here, but it's just so funny because I never know, right? And yeah, Brett's parents' dogs have a war going on with the dogs across the fence, their neighbors' dogs. And I swear, they're like all friendly dogs. They just like love to bark at each other. It's really cute, And I'm rolling my eyes and putting that in quotations right now. Okay, let's go ahead and dive into indirect selling. So, what the heck am I talking about indirect selling? Well, if you are wondering, I actually kind of created this topic or kind of formulated this idea in my own head when I kept getting the question, like, how often should we be selling on social media, right? And it was really kind of making me mad because, like, you might hear people talking about how often you should be selling in your content online. And you might hear people mention the 80-20 rule, right? This is I don't know, a lot of people use 80-20 rule in a lot of different industries and a lot of different areas and stuff like that. But when it comes to marketing, content marketing specifically, you might hear people online saying 80-20 rule, give value in 80% of your content and then sell in 20% of your content, right? And I was kind of mulling that over in my head, being like, that just doesn't feel right to me. It's like, okay, also too, there's forms of selling that's indirect, that's more building brand loyalty, that's kind of introducing people to what you do, how you help people, your offers without, being in your face, buy from me sort of thing. And what I also didn't like about the 80-20 rule too is because, I think that a lot of marketers understand this concept of, value can also look like indirect selling, right? Allowing people to get to know your brand, creating a value post that's leading into a call to action that is check out my offer, yada, 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 right? But for a lot of the people that I'm working with, those solopreneurs who are still wearing all their hats in their business, they're just starting out and learning how to market your business online, right? The 80-20 rule can be a little confusing and can kind of stop you from showing up and selling in any way, right? Except for the quote unquote 20% of the time, which then you haven't practiced it enough and it's really, really scary when you decide that you need to sell, right? Or can feel a little inauthentic for your brand if you're just like giving value, not talking about your offers at all, not really talking about your business. And then all of a sudden you're showing up and selling in kind of a direct way, which is totally okay. But if it's like 80%, 20%, and it's very starkly separated, right? Like value, no selling at all. And then all of a sudden, like selling, that can feel a little inauthentic and be kind of shocking for your followers, right? So indirect selling is actually a really great way to make selling feel more authentic for your brand so that when you do show up and kind of direct sell, buy from me, which is nothing wrong with doing that, like a smaller amount of the time, right? Then it feels like more natural to your ideal customers when your brand does that, right? Hopefully this is making sense for you, my friend. But anyway, a while ago when I started thinking about the 80-20 rule, I kind of realized like, I don't like this. And especially I don't like how people are taking it and thinking that it's like set in stone, and that it's very, very starkly separated, selling versus value content, right? Like, no. So I kind of created what I call the 40-40-20 rule, which what I like to say is like 40% value add content, 40% indirect selling content, and then 20% direct selling content, right? And by that, I mean, value add content, just sharing relatable posts, giving inspiration, giving tips, all that different stuff. 40% of the time, then 40% of the time, indirect selling content, which we're going to be talking about today, a little bit more lighter. And then 20% of the time direct selling content, right? So basically, if you want to hear more about the 40-40-20 rule, I actually did create a mini-sode about it, mini-sode 23. I think I looked it up before I started recording this episode. You can totally go back and give that a listen. I break it down even more for you. But let's talk about indirect selling in today's episode. And basically, how I would like to define indirect selling is when you're basically talking about your offer without being like, buy from me, right? So it could be mentioning your offer or kind of talking about the themes of how you help people or kind of leading into a kind of soft sell of your offer by like starting with like more value-based content or like relatable content that's kind of like providing a cushion and drawing your ideal customer into a softer sell at the end of your caption or something like that, right? But basically, quote unquote, talking about your offer more so than being like, yo, buy from me. I always like make my hands like jazzed hands when I do that same thing because it's like in your face, you know? And why is this important? Well, it allows you to sell more often without feeling like a used car salesman. And also, you'll probably see better results because, like I kind of mentioned already, it can be a little bit like shocking for you to well, firstly, no one wants to be sold to all the time, right? So if you are a brand who's been just constantly buy from me, buy from me, buy from me, buy from me all the time, that can get really tiring for the people following you and they don't want to be sold to all the time, right? That said, if you are just always giving value, 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 and never talking about your business, never talking about your offer or anything like that, and then all of a sudden you go, buy from me, that can be really culture shock for your ideal customers too, right? And they aren't really ready for it. Also, you know, if you are in the camp of just simply never talking about your offers or selling on social media, that's a problem, my friend, you know, because no one's going to buy from you if they don't know that you're selling something, right? Or they don't know how you can help them and that you offer something that can change their life, right? So, not only will this allow you to feel better about your content and how you sell on social media, but it will also likely get you better results in the form of paying customers over time, right? Because you'll be talking about it more often, but it won't feel like a used car salesman. So, let's go ahead and get into the how. Let's break down these 8 ways to post about your offer without straight up selling. And I am so excited. I am going to try to go through these fairly quickly because we all know I'm a long-winded talker and, you know, we have a time limit to these episodes and I respect your time, my feel-good listener. Okay, so the first way that you can post about your offer without straight up directly selling is through customer testimonials. And my friend, I freaking love customer testimonials because they're one of the easiest way to quickly create content again and again and again for your brand. Customer testimonials are something that you could post once a week if you wanted to, using pretty much the same template if you also wanted to, right? And they really do serve a great purpose for your content. I actually, if you're interested in learning more about customer testimonials and the strategy behind sharing them and different ways that you can share them in your brand's content online, head back to 2 weeks ago. Episode 121 is all about deep diving into customer testimonials. So I know you'll love that episode, right? But when it comes to selling using customer testimonials, well, firstly, I should just say, for all of these content ideas, indirect selling ideas that I'm about to share, we technically are leading into a sale anyway, right? In some way, whether it's just kind of like planting a seed in your customer's mind, like, oh man, yeah, like they have this offer. That sounds cool, right? Or leading into an actual call to action that's like, hey, are you interested in this? Head to the link in my bio to learn more or whatever it is. You know what I mean? So don't feel like indirect selling isn't selling, right? And I will say you're allowed to be as salesy as you want with any of these prompts that I'm about to share with you, right? So for customer testimonials, there is totally a time and a place to be like sharing a customer testimonial screenshot and being like, course open now, or 3 spots available, like sign up for my X offer now, or whatever that looks like, right? You can totally be salesy with customer testimonials. And there's definitely a time and place where I would encourage you to do so. But you can also share customer testimonials, pair it with a caption that's a little softer, right? So when it comes to pairing kind of a softer caption with a customer testimonial, I definitely give lots of ideas back in episode 121. So go give it a listen if you haven't yet. But, you can really just put the testimonial out there and give your customer a shout out and say, I thank you so much for the kind words. You can say, I am so glad that I helped you solve this problem, improve your life in this way, helped you see these results. Like, go check this person out. You can share your favorite thing about working with that person and or about that person and or their business, depending on your industry and how you helped them and whatnot. And you don't even have to really sell, you could end it with a call to action that's like, are you interested in working with me? Like, send me a message, let's do this thing or something. But you could also just show gratitude. Your call to action could even be give them a follow, like give your ideal customer or your testimonial customer a follow, right? Which shows them gratitude and visibility. But at the same time, just seeing their testimonial is a way of indirectly selling to new potential customers, right? Because it's out there. So it's planting a seed in your potential customer's mind. Oh, this brand is working with this person and she got this result. I'll keep her in mind the next time I want whatever you offer, right? Okay, side note, my friends, Willie is our new puppy. He is a Shih Tzu, about 5 months now. 5 months now. He's like 7 pounds and he's pretty adorable. And yeah, he'll probably make a showing noise-wise in future podcast episodes. So, look out for a Willie. Maybe it's like Willie Easter egg sounds in every episode, right? Okay, so the next way that you can post about your offer without straight up selling is similar to a customer testimonial, but I like to call it the customer transformation story. Okay, so instead of sharing the actual feedback and testimonial that your customer has given you, right? You're instead telling the story of the transformation that you helped your ideal customer or your past customer achieve. So I always like to think of it as before, during, and after, and really put yourself into your ideal customer's shoes and think about how were they feeling before they started working with me? What were they struggling with the most? What problems did they need help solving? What did they desire most out of life that they just couldn't get? Then when they hired you, what problem did you actually help them solve? What was their experience like working with you? What steps did you take to help them achieve whatever they wanted to achieve, right? And then after working with you, what does their life look like now? What results have they actually seen? What desires have you helped them achieve? How are they feeling about their life right now, right? Putting yourself into their shoes and then telling that customer transformation story can be super, super helpful and super, super powerful and compelling when it comes to selling. And it's actually really great and like sucks the reader into the story, especially if your ideal potential customer is relating hardcore to your actual past customer's story, right? And if they have very similar stories, if they read your customer's transformation story, they're going to be like, oh man, this is what I need, So this post can very simply look like when X person, whatever your client's name is, right? When client name started working with me, they were feeling really X about their life. They were struggling to X, Y, Z, and they didn't know how to make it happen or how to make change happen, right? Then they hired me and I helped them achieve X, Y, Z so that now they are living X type of life. That like the only letter of the alphabet that I can think of right now is X, right? These are all supposed to be different things, but you get it. And now they're living a X kind of life, they're feeling X way, and, they have seen X results, right? This sort of story is super, super awesome for selling in that indirect way. And especially if you do pair it with a call to action at the end of that caption that's like, do you want to work with me? Like, tell them how to work with you then. Or if you didn't want to end it with a call to action that's like, work with me, and legit sell at the end of that caption, you could totally pair it with a, give my customer some love, or is this something that you've struggled with in the past, or is this the type of life that you would like to live? Let me know in the comments, right? And that's even a little bit of a softer way to end that caption, but you're still indirectly selling because you're planting that seed in your ideal customer mind still and sharing the story of the transformation that you help people achieve, right? Oh, it's so, so powerful, my friend. The third way you can create content without straight up selling is to show behind the scenes of your process. Okay. And I'm laughing right now and I'm getting excited right now because this is my go-to thing that I love to do, especially when it comes to the Feel Good Social Club, right? So the Feel Good Social Club is my content marketing membership. And in the club, we have Canva templates, post prompts, a tutorial video library. We host content planning workshops every month. We have community forums. I do a lot of collaborations with my members. What else? Like, there's so much that we do in the club. And my favorite way to market the Feel Good Social Club is to legit talk about what is happening and show behind the scenes of my process. So every month, as I'm designing new content Canva templates, customizable Canva templates to add to the content template library, right? I will share, like, legit take a video of my computer screen and be like, working on these customer testimonial reels that I'm going to be dropping in the content template library in May, right? I will show, the about me reels that I created for it. I will kind of show different prompts that I'm creating for the Feel Good Social Club. Oh, whenever we host our content planning workshops every month, we also do content challenges, right? So I'll be like, post a reel in the month of May, and you could be entered to win a set of custom carousel templates designed by me, right? Like, and I will not only post reminders for my members to my Instagram stories being like, hey, Feel Good Social Clubbers, don't forget to participate in this month's challenge. You have 1 week left, and share kind of behind the scenes in that way. But I'll also show literally me putting my clubbers' names into the hat. This is how I pick who wins the content challenges every month, right? I legit just write down everyone's names, throw them in one of my adventure hats, and draw out a name. And it's kind of fun, right? And I also post that behind the scenes to my Instagram stories so that not only my clubbers feel excited about the club and they're a part of something cool and awesome, which you guys totally are, it, but also so that people who aren't a part of the club yet can see the behind the scenes of our process and what's going on and really get a feel for what they will gain if they do decide to join, right? And it works so well. It's so fun for people to see behind the scenes of your process in your business. And it's a way to show, not tell, right? Show, not sell necessarily, but it also pairs really well with a call to action that's like, hey, do you want to join the Feel Good Social Club? Head to feelgoodsocial.com/club to check it out and join now. We would love to have you, right? And yes, that really was a call to action for you, my friend, my Feel Good listener. If you haven't checked out the Feel Good Social Club yet, I would love to have you join us. It is open for you to join right now, and you can gain immediate unlimited access to all of our customizable Canva templates and all of the other amazing goodies that come with being a member, right? So feelgoodsocial.com/club. Just had to plug it here one more time. Okay. But how can you do this for your brand, right? Can you show behind the scenes of you creating more products for your brand? Can you share behind the scenes of you packing up your products for your brand? Maybe behind the scenes of you working with your clients, right? And I don't know. I feel like a lot of times people get hung up and feel like it's boring when they're like, well, we can't really show us working with a client. It'd be really awkward, right? Well, no, but what do you do with your client, right? For some of my one-on-one coaching clients, I will go look at their captions. I actually do this for some of my Feel Good Social Clubbers too in the community forums if they need help. But going and taking a look at their captions and offering feedback for, ooh, I think you could change this sentence around here, or delete this word, or, flip the script in this way. It would make it more intriguing, right? And sometimes I will share screenshots of that to my Instagram stories and kind of share a little bit of my feedback that I gave my clients, right? And or my clubbers. And that's just a fun way to show like, hey, this is how I can help people, right? Like, do you want my help too? It's really, really powerful, and it feels interesting for the people who are viewing your stories, and or if you want to create a post about it too, that's totally cool. And again, it's just planting seeds and showing them what you do and how you help people and making them think, ooh, I want that, or how can I get in on this? That sort of thing. Okay, what is the next way that we can share our offers without selling? Let's see. Number 4, talk about a topic or a theme where you can mention it. Okay, so this is something that I just want you to get comfortable doing in general. But what are the themes of your offer, right? Like content creation for Feel Good Social is a big one. Like anytime that I'm talking about content creation with someone, I can be like, oh yeah, like mapping out your big picture and then zooming in. This is one of my best tips for people. And this is actually something that I teach in my online course, the Feel Good Social Club, right? Or like content creation as far as like Canva templates, right? Like, oh yeah, like one of the best things you can do for your brand is create templates that feel on brand for you that you can reuse again and again and again, such as customer testimonials or reminders or fake Twitter tweet posts or whatever it is. But I actually happen to have those templates created in the Feel Good Social Club already. So if you want access to templates like that for your brand, join the club. I would love to have you. And actually, I can help give you feedback for how you can customize it and make it look on brand for you, right? That's just like a way to kind of back end talk into a certain theme that allows you to mention your offer, right? So what are the themes of your offer? Do you help people do you make people feel beautiful, or live a better life, right? Maybe you help people overcome a certain problem, or there's just a certain topic under which like your offer falls, right? Or multiple different topics and themes under which your offer falls. What are those things? And anytime those themes come up in conversation for you in your business and or you want to create content around those themes, it's a good idea to either just like offhandedly mention your offer, right? You can totally name drop, right? Oh yeah, like I teach in my online course, the social map. And then keep going on with the conversation, right? Or keep going on with the caption. Or you could just lead into a call to action that is then selling your offer, right? So if you're interested in learning my signature batch planning process, check out my online course, The Social Map. Whatever, you know what I mean? So what does that look like for your business? What are the themes and topics that your offer can fall under that you could just mention your offer whenever you're talking about them and create content around those themes and topics, and then just mention your offer and or lead into a call to action, asking them to check out your offer, right? Okay, the 5th way that you can create content around your offer without straight up selling is to tell the story that led you to create it, right? So this is kind of getting a little bit more into the direct selling realm, I guess, but it's not quite being like, yo, buy for me or whatever it is. But, really think hard like about the story behind your offer. There's always a story behind it. There's always a story that led you to the reason that you created it, right? What experience led you to create this offer? Maybe it's because you personally struggled with whatever problem your offer helps solve, right? Maybe it's because you personally needed this offer yourself, or you created it out of you figuring out and overcoming a problem of your own. Or maybe it's because you realized that your friends and or clients were really struggling with something or really needed something, and that's why you created it. Or maybe it's both. What does that look like for you? What experience led you to create this, right? For the Feel Good Social Club, for example, it was really mostly about trying to create a no-brainer yes that's going to give people all the easy peasy marketing content goodies that they need to show up easily online for their brand. And it was kind of a part of coming from me where I was like struggling for years and just recreating templates all the time for all my different clients and all the different stuff, and realizing I'm recreating similar templates for all of my same clients and being like, okay, if people had templates to start with, then this would make their lives so much easier, right? And like really defined template sets, defined post prompts, all that different stuff, right? It was also me hearing from the people who I've been working with year after year after year being like, ooh, can I have those templates? Ooh, like ask me the same questions over and over about different types of post prompts, or like, how do I tell this story, right? Also realizing that people really need that content planning workshop at the beginning of every month to help them outline and map out their content so they can go into every month with a plan of attack, right? That kind of stemmed from me creating my social map online course where I teach people how to map out your monthly content every month. But then the Feel Good Social Club provides accountability with our monthly content planning workshops so that people can actually attend a workshop every month and hold themselves accountable, brainstorm ideas, and legit outline your content plan every month, right? So that's kind of where the Feel Good Social Club came from. I could definitely tell the story in a few different ways for sure. What does that look like for you and your offers? Okay, the next way you can talk about your offer without straight up selling is to tell what makes your brand and offer different than all the other brands out there, right? Talk about like your brand values or what your brand believes about your industry and the world. Like, what makes you different and why should people choose you to work with as a brand? And what does that look like reflected in your offer? Right. So for Feel Good Social, a lot of our brand themes are just like creating a plan of attack that works for you, not caring as much about the trends or the algorithm, and just showing up consistently. Also, giving yourself grace. Also, fully admitting that social media is not the number one priority in your business. Yes, it is hard to create content and show up online. Life happens, stress happens, and sometimes you just can't, and it's okay. And I'm always going to be the first person to tell you, be gentle with yourself. We all have good intentions to show up every month. We all create these plan of attacks and we want to make it happen. But hey, if you can't, that's okay. And we still love you. And you can hop back on that content creation train whenever you're ready, right? And that's what sets Feel Good Social apart in our industry. And that's also reflected in the Feel Good Social Club. I legit say that to my members all the time, at every content planning workshop, in all the community forums, all the time. Let's make content creation as easy peasy for you as possible, and be gentle with yourself when you just can't make it happen, because yeah, social media is probably not your number one priority in your business. And I totally understand that life gets in the way. Right? But I still love you and it's okay. And that's reflected in the Feel Good Social Club, right? So you can totally talk about those sort of things. What makes your brand different? Why should people choose you? What sets you apart in your industry? And how is that reflected in the offers that you sell? And that can lead into your offers for sure. Okay, the next way to talk about the penultimate way to talk about your offer is tell why you do what you do, my friend. This could look like why you started your business. This could look like why you love helping people in the way that you love helping people. It can look like a lot of different things, right? But whenever you talk about why you actually do what you do, that can totally then lead into reflecting what you also sell, right? So, Feel Good Social. I started my business wanting to create a marketing agency, trying to follow all the rules and look professional and say the things that all the other marketers online were saying because that's what I thought was like kosher and that's what I thought was working, right? But something didn't feel aligned with me or right. And I didn't want to tell people you have to show up on all the platforms all the time. You have to be able to reply to DMs within 5 minutes, to always be on call and all that stuff. Like, that's not the life that I want to live. And that doesn't align with my values. So instead, I started leaning into the things that I truly believe in and love and light up about when it comes to social media, which is telling your authentic story, leaning into who you really are in your business, showing up with all your quirks in a relatable way with love, right? I also believe in, creating a plan of attack that works for you, like I said, and not worrying as much about all the rules that you hear all the marketers online shouting about and all that different stuff. I also truly find joy in content creation and creating Canva templates and design and caption writing in a way that's strategic, but also feels real and fun and all that different stuff. Like finding joy in your creative process and content creation will truly not only make it more sustainable for you as the person creating content, but also it's more magnetic for the people who are consuming your content, right? So your content will actually probably perform better if you lean into what brings you joy in the process. So these are all reasons why I do what I do, and I reflect it in Feel Good Social's offers all the time, right? So I could totally bring that back to that is why in the Feel Good Social Club, I encourage you to play around with the designs. I encourage you to write captions that tell your personal stories that allow your customers to get to know you, right? Yada, 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 all the things. So, why do you do what you do in your business? And how can you reflect that in the offers that you now sell? Okay, my friend, the final way, in this episode at least, that you can create content about your offer without straight up selling is to share tips. And this is totally taking the quote unquote value add content that I was talking about in the beginning of the episode and flipping the script at the end and turning it into a sales post, right? This is how you can give value and also sell to people online, which is pretty awesome, right? But you can basically create a tips post where you're sharing certain tips that are either giving a light overview of what you offer with your offer, right? And or sharing like quick win tips that lead into your offer. Okay. So what I mean by that is that let's take the social map, my online course, for example. I could totally create a social media post that's like, how to map out your monthly content in 4 quick steps, right? And it's like, figure out your brand voice, map out your big picture, then zoom in, give yourself guidelines so you can create individual posts, and then legit create your individual posts. And that is kind of the step-by-step process that I lead people through in the social map online course, but it's a very overview, like broad view of what I actually teach, right? I think that I have like 5 modules. It's like there's probably close to like 60 videos, like tutorial videos within that course, right? So definitely that's a broad overview of what I teach, but it's still giving the broad overview, right? And the call to action for that value add post could be, do you want to dive deeper into these tips? Check out my online course, The Social Map, right? It's still valuable as a post because it's literally giving people the how to and giving them clarity about what they need to do, but it's not diving into the nitty gritty details of how exactly to do it. And if they want to dive into the nitty gritty details more so, then they can sign up for my online course, The Social Map, right? So it's giving value add post that's leading into selling. Indirect selling, my friend, the soft sell. Or another way to share tips is to give quick win tips that are then leading into your offer, right? So it could be 3 steps to revamping your Instagram bio in 15 seconds or something, right? And then at the end of the post, after my 3 quick tips for revamping your Instagram bio, I could say, you ready to take that next step and start actually creating content and selling on social media? Check out my Feel Good Social Club content marketing membership, right? Yada, yada, yada. So that's a way that you can turn a value add tip post into a soft sell sales post. Okay. So that's another way to kind of talk about your offer, lead people into your offer into a soft way that's not like, hey, I'm selling this thing, buy from me, right? So, oh man, my friend, I do not even know how long this episode was. I know I was talking super fast, but I hope that you found it helpful. I hope that you took down notes and brainstormed ideas for your own content. And if you do want to connect with me, I would love to connect with you, my friend. I'm over on Instagram at feelgoodsocial. Or if you want my coaching and advice and a community of people who can help you, check out the Feel Good Social Club. It's feelgoodsocial.com/club. You can join today. You can get access to our Canva templates that are customizable for your brand, post prompts, tutorial videos, the content planning workshops every month, our monthly content challenges, and then our community forums where I can legit give you feedback and help you brainstorm ideas for this sort of content that you can create, right? I love helping my members with that stuff, and I would love to help you with that too. So feelgoodsocial.com/club. Check it out, my friend. I would love to see you in there. Okay, I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will catch you next time I catch you. Thanks so much for listening, my friend. For show notes and a whole lot of other awesome freebies, visit feelgoodsocial.com. Simply go to feelgoodsocial.com for all the goods.